Hi, my name is Alexis Christopher, and I'm here with Father Sean Allen from St. Agnes Parish in Arlington, and we're here to discuss a trip we took to Rome in August. It was a hot week in August. So, Father Sean, thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me here today. It's a pleasure to see you again and to reminisce about the beautiful journey that we took, the pilgrimage with so many young people from around the world.
Right. We're here to talk about what the Jubilee is. It was last year, and Father Sean, can you please tell us what is the Jubilee?
Well, the Jubilee is a year that is set aside by the Church in which people are encouraged to make pilgrimages to the Holy Land or to Rome, as we did. And it's a year of special graces and favors. The prayers will be answered in a more special way because of the participation in such a joyous event. The Jubilee happens usually every 25 years, but this year it seemed to be much larger than in the past. And I think it's because of the year 2000 and the fascination with that number. Mm-hmm. And just so many people inspired to see Pope John Paul II too. That people were just thrilled to be able to go to Rome during his reign. Okay,
I've noticed that the Catholic Church has done a lot of has a symbol that depicts the Jubilee, and that symbol is sometimes draped outside the church, or I see it around, and I realize it is a year of grace. Is this something they do every 25 years?
Yes. And this year, the theme for the Jubilee, as you saw on many of those banners, was Open Wide the Doors to Christ. And it was symbolic of the doors of the church, reminiscent of the holy doors in Rome, but also for all of us, a call to all of us to open our hearts to Christ, to open the doors of our hearts, to let Christ in there so that he can fully dwell within us and we can live out his message in our lives.
That's really beautiful. Now, tell me a little more about the doors. I don't really understand.
The holy doors are doors in designated churches in the basilicas in Rome, which are closed during the other years, which are non-Jubilee years. And they're actually closed in a ceremony at the end of the Jubilee year, as some of us were able to see on television. Okay. The Pope do that this year in a beautiful ceremony. And then they won't be opened again until the next Jubilee year. And it's part of the whole pilgrimage of walking through the holy doors when you get to Rome. It's part of your journey. And for me, one of the blessings of going to Rome was the first day we were there, was the Feast of the Assumption. Right. And we had Mass at St. Mary Major. And the procession at the beginning of Mass, we went right through the holy door, and it was a very moving experience. Wow. And as you know, our group carried a book of intentions that we had all the parishioners of the parish write different intentions in there, different prayers and special favors that they wanted. And we carried those intentions with us through the holy doors.
Right. It just seemed like when I was looking around that there seemed to be so many people. Do you know what the estimate of how many people were there?
I don't know how many people in all went through the different holy doors and went to Rome totally for the year. I do know that the number for World Youth Day, the number of young adults that were there, was closing in on 3 million. So.
Wow. 3 million people.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
It was quite an impressive journey. It really was to be able to share so much with so many people and to all be there for one purpose, just to give praise to God and to thank Jesus for our faith.
Right, and such an old faith at that. I've noticed that the Pope has taken an interest in the youth. Can you tell me a little bit about his message that all these youth, because that is really what it's geared towards?
It really is. World Youth Day is it's geared towards the young people, basically ages 18 to 39, which in this country we may not consider that youth, but the European expression considers that youth. Right. And the Pope is definitely focused on that age group. But he also speaks to the high school age and the younger too. And the youth really give inspiration to the Pope. It's always interesting to see him come into a celebration when he may look a little tired or whatnot, and he's just rejuvenated by the youth, and they give him such life. And it's so hard to figure out what the attraction is for the young people, because you look and here's this man who's close to 80 years old, and these people are just going crazy over him. They just want to get closer to him, to see him, and to hear the message that he has.
And what is he saying to them?
He is just saying almost nothing different than what has been said for the last 2,000 years. He tells them that they're important, that God loves them, and that Jesus came to save them, and that they are called to go out and to bring this message to the world. They are called to put their faith in action and to live it, and to not let any of the distractions of the world get in their way. That it's all there for them to use in spreading the message of Christ.
So I see that he has a respect for the youth. And do you think that John Paul II is counting on the youth to bring forth that message to the world?
I think he really is. He sees the strength in the youth of how proud they are of their faith, and that they are able to go out and change the world.
That's great.
He believes that they can do it. He has faith in them.
I've noticed he always says coraggio, and from a man who, as I read about, has been through many wars and has seen a lot of atrocious happenings with the Nazis. He is definitely, to me, a leader in being someone with courage. And how do you think that kids take that message and really work with it? Do you think they're listening to the Pope?
I think so, because just seeing him as he is now, obviously suffering at times when he's trying to walk and move, and they see the courage of him still doing a full schedule, still living life in all its aspects. I think they see courage in action.
Right.
And also, if they're aware of his personal history, as you've mentioned, the different atrocities that he's seen in the world, but also his physical happenings in his life. He was never really a specimen of health in his life. He's had different sicknesses throughout his life, and he's worked through them. And then you see this person who had those problems, and he's out on a ski slope.
I knew he was a skier and very athletic.
Very athletic, even though he was not in the best health, he still went out and did all these things.
Right.
I think that's a sign of courage, too, for the young people.
Right. I see him as a very compassionate, being someone who met the Pope, I see him as very compassionate. And I find personally that I admire him for his complexity in philosophy and maybe his artistic, creative side, where I know he did produce I don't know if he produced a film, but I know that he was in a film, and that he also does write poetry. And do you know anything about those?
Well, in actuality, even before I think it was before he became a priest, he actually wrote plays and whatnot, and the plays were actually forbidden in the Polish society at that time. They had to do them underground, and they put on different productions in different people's houses. And even then, he just showed his wonderful ability with words and how articulate he is.
He is articulate. And what are some things that you can think of that would help us to maybe in the next year? 25 years is kind of a long time to wait to keep that anticipation up for the next Jubilee. What are some of the things we can do maybe on a daily or yearly basis that will keep up that Jubilee spirit maybe?
Well, one of the things for young adults anyway, the World Youth Day actually takes place every year.
Okay.
And what they do is in the off year, it's more of a local celebration. So we would be celebrating it locally in the Archdiocese of Boston this year. And then next year will be another worldwide gathering, which next year the worldwide gathering will be in Toronto.
Great. Another big city.
Another big city, and an easier journey for those of us coming from the United States.
Maybe a little cooler.
Hopefully a little cooler. As you mentioned, I believe earlier, last year we had temperatures going as high as 105 while we were in Rome.
Wow.
So
it's amazing.
It was definitely a pilgrimage.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely a journey for people. And it made them more aware of what goes on in other parts of the world, of the different sufferings that other people had.
Right.
And part of our motto from the Archdiocese of Boston was that this was a pilgrimage and not a vacation. On a pilgrimage, we don't complain. That was very important.
Not very easy, but very important.
It was. But it was, I think it was accomplished by most of the people in our group. And as you know, our group was one of the largest groups, single groups from the United States to go there.
The Archdiocese of Boston.
Yeah, we had about 850 young people
Wow.
go to Rome, and that was just a wonderful contingent led by the Cardinal himself.
Right. I think personally it was amazing to see all the different cultures. I met some people from Argentina and all over the world, and they all came for this pilgrimage. Actually, one person I met was in a wheelchair and was so happy to be there.
Yeah. It was really, really inspiring to see the people from all over the world, Europe, the United States, and Africa and Asia. There was just, it seemed everyone was represented there, which was really beautiful. And then to see those with handicaps struggling and making the journey, it was just, and to see the joy on their face to be part of that whole celebration, that it made us think twice about even considering complaining.
Right. Can you tell us the day of that you went to meet the Pope? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, after being in Rome for a number of days, the culminating event is it's a journey of several miles in the burning heat.
Several miles. How many would that be?
I want to say it was 8 miles, but I don't know if they were really telling us the truth because it seems a lot longer.
And you walked that whole time?
We walked that in excess of 100-degree temperature. There was plenty of water along the way for us, and actually they had fire hoses out there also soaking the people down. And basically, this long walk led us to the site where we would have a vigil and then Mass with the Pope the next day. And the vigil ceremony itself was just absolutely incredible.
Right.
Most of the members of our group were able to, at one point, be within a few feet of the Pope as he came by in the Pope-mobile. And
wow, what was that like?
It was wonderful because it just always feels like he's looking directly at you and waving just to you.
Wow.
He's such a powerful man that the joy that just comes from being near him was incredible.
Right.
And then the celebration that night, once it cooled down a little and we were able to get into the nighttime temperatures, was beautiful. It was a celebration of our faith with everyone had headphones so that they could hear the translation in their own language as the celebration went on. And then we all had candles that were lit, and as they dimmed all the lights and you looked out and you saw all these candles just out there as a sign of faith.
Wow.
You know, as a sign of Jesus being the light of the world and the light of that shines through each one of us.
Wow.
And the Pope led us in a wonderful prayer service, which then culminated in a surprise event of fireworks.
Oh, really?
That was actually spectacular.
Wow.
And it was really an experience to see close to 3 million young people.
Wow.
Just a sea of people
Where did
out
they
there.
put all these people?
On the ground. We all camped out with our little space about the size of our sleeping bag, and if you wanted to get up and travel to to go to any of the food stations or anything like that, it was quite a task because you had to climb over so many people. You had to try to find land and not step on
Right.
on bodies.
That's a challenge.
It was, but everyone was really enjoying it, and everyone was in good spirits. No one wasn't like anyone was complaining about it.
Right.
If you did happen to step on someone by mistake.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
But how did the Pope hold up in that time? Is he okay?
Oh, he was wonderful. You could just see how much enjoyment that he got from being with the young people as he would be sitting up there. His foot and his hand would be tapping and beat with the music, and it was the music was quite joyful. It was,
Right.
yeah, they blended all the different cultures, and they had something representing each of the different nations. So.
That's great. That's great.
Some of the other experiences that we had were just as incredible because a lot of attention is focused on the final event, but the
Right.
all the days in Rome are wonderful in themselves.
Right.
Beginning with the Feast of the Assumption, we began at St. Mary Major, and that was basically the opening event for those of us from the Archdiocese of Boston, because that was the day we arrived. So we were able to celebrate that Mass, and then go off to different excursions and see different.
What are some of the other things you saw while you were in Rome?
Well, we saw all the regular touristy sites. We did see the Forum and the Circus Maximus, the Colosseum,
Wow.
the Pantheon, all of that. It was just really, really
The Sistine Chapel.
the Sistine Chapel. Oh,
Breathless.
that was spectacular.
Right.
And we're very fortunate that they've completed the restoration about a year ago.
Right.
Of
Right.
the Last Judgment and all of the different pieces of works of art that are there, the masterpieces, and just to see them. And one of the things that we learned as we went into the different churches, someone had mentioned it to us, and we remembered it everywhere we went. When you walk into a church in Rome, always look up because the ceiling's
Right.
absolutely stunning. Oh,
Right.
the work that went into all of those churches.
It's really a lost art, do you think?
It really
All
is.
this painting and the sculpture.
Yeah, we
is-
don't have. It's so expensive to do it now that it just we kind of look on the practical side when we're building churches, and we don't really invest in that type of work.
Right. But I think, I know when I stepped into the Vatican, I felt very small in front of God. And I think that was maybe the point of having such a big church,
Yeah,
is to
same.
realize your insignificance before God. And I see the big sculptures of the different saints, and it's very intriguing to think, what did this person do in their life? How did they follow Jesus in such a great way that they are depicted in the Vatican of all places?
Yeah, when you mentioned that, I couldn't help but think that seemed to be the common sensation that most of us had when we went into St. Peter's. It was just, we are so small, and God is just so
Right.
awesome.
Two things in the Vatican: the Pieta, which is one of the classic statues, if you will, of the Blessed Mother holding Jesus in her arms.
Yeah.
That, I think, was extremely striking. And the second was the stairway that goes down under the Vatican that has all the, the church archives or the old Pope's remains.
Yeah,
Do you know anything
the
about
crypt down there with
Okay.
with most of many of the popes, they're in the crypts down there. But to start with the Pietà, I've seen so many reproductions of it. To actually walk in and see the Pietà itself, it was just so huge.
Right.
I never envisioned it to be as large as it was, and it was just so gorgeous.
And now it's hard to take pictures because they've actually encased it in glass, which last time I was there was not encased in glass. So
yeah, you have to preserve them because it's something that so many people want to see, and you have to. Everybody wants to touch it, and it starts
Right.
to wear
right,
on the marble. That you have to be careful of of such treasures as they really are.
right,
But then is to see all the crypts of all the popes,
Right.
That was spectacular. And to just see the way that people wanted to be there and to pay their respects to the people who had followed St. Peter, who had led the church through so many different times.
Right. Now, do you think that the church chose Rome for the 2000 Jubilee on purpose? Is that kind of a...
I think so. I think it was to make that, for everyone to come to the pilgrimage there, and for World Youth Day to culminate there, to show the past of the church and the future of the church,
Right.
all present in those young people. It was a spectacular sight.
It was amazing, definitely. Father Sean, besides Rome, we also went to Assisi. How do you see the difference between Assisi and Rome?
Well, it was very interesting. I found a dramatic difference. As you went to Rome, everything was, when you went into the different churches, the Vatican and the museums, everything was roped off and everything was behind plexiglass. And, you know, it was really a separation trying to preserve all the things. And yet when we got to Assisi and we got to the church there, all the frescoes, everything was just in plain view. You could actually touch the walls of the fresco and you could feel them. And it just, to me, felt so much like St. Francis. He would have wanted the people to be able to get that close to the beauty of the art and all of that. And that was actually the hottest day of the whole trip.
Right.
That was 105, 106 degrees that day. We had a number of people, if I recall, having a difficult time with the weather.
I had a difficult time.
It was very hot. Most people had to concentrate on staying standing and making
Right.
sure they kept hydrated.
Okay. I know that church did have they had kind of a earthquake or whatever, maybe 2 years ago, but it didn't look that bad.
No, they had done a wonderful job of preserving, of
Right.
restoring. That was one of the first places that they did once they got the water flowing back into the city and the people were able to get their water. One of the next things they did was to work on the church.
Right.
And a lot of people thought that was not the right thing to do. But the people of the village wanted that restored because they felt that that's why the people were able to come there to that village to see the church of St. Francis. And they felt that that's where their tourism would come and they would get the money to continue to rebuild their whole community, which was just devastated by that earthquake.
It's kind of significant seeing that St. Francis, they said, go and rebuild my church. That's what God said to St. Francis, which you can see is falling down before you, which is exactly what was happening. Assisi is actually built on a hill with a fortress around it, and it's very hilly and it's not easy to get around, but it is a very beautiful it's an ancient city.
Oh, it is, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And there was not a cloud in the sky, not a cloud to come between us and the sun.
Right.
It was absolutely gorgeous, and the number of people that were there in droves, and the young people that were there, that was one of the days that they offered confessions. And the lines of young people there for the sacrament of reconciliation was just incredible. It was just very powerful and moving.
Right.
So many people there for a conversion of heart, to make sure that they continue to turn their lives towards the Lord.
That's beautiful.
We had so many wonderful meals everywhere we went. It's interesting to compare true Italian food to the American version of Italian food, and so often what we think is Italian food, they wouldn't prepare.
Right.
It's not something that they would serve. But the food was wonderful. The people were phenomenal. All the Italians they were so nice in helping us anywhere we went. They were always willing to give us pointers and guides as to what we might enjoy. It was great.
Now, I did notice one thing, that a lot of people were on vacation because of the heat.
Yes, that is generally the time of year that the Italians, especially the Romans, go on vacation. So basically the city normally kind of shuts down during the couple of weeks around the time when we were there. So it was fortunate for us that all the cars were out of the city.
Right.
And they basically blocked the city off from cars. Only buses were allowed in. and not just tour buses. They were only the official buses of the City of Rome or World Youth Day buses that were allowed.
Okay, so this is this why they had it in this time? Because they knew that a lot of people might not be there, and they were busing, they were having all these people come into the city. That's a great amount of people.
Exactly. If they were to have it any other time, the City of Rome wouldn't have been able to handle the numbers that came for that, the 3 million youth.
Right.
But also, the World Youth Day is always held in the summertime because that's when college students are available and when people are able to take their holidays and to travel to wherever the site is.
Great.
Yeah.
Did you go to Denver?
I did.
Okay.
That was my first experience with World Youth Day was Denver, and that was very enjoyable. The Pope did a phenomenal job there, and it was interesting to see the difference between the celebrations in the different countries.
Right.
Denver was so American for us. We heard it all in our language.
Right.
So there was no language barrier.
Right.
But the Pope connected in the same way now. Must have been, I think, about 7 years later.
Right.
He connected with the youth in the same way. He still had that beautiful connection with the youth.
Well, I want to thank you very much for our discussion. I think that we have so many things to look forward to for the next Jubilee, but also, maybe we could get more connected to the what's going on in the church as far as what the next event is, and there are so many opportunities to really take pilgrimage while there's different areas to go with the Pope. It's very exciting.
It really is.
And I just wanted to thank you, Father Sean, personally for coming on the trip with me and for your involvement in the church and coming here today, which was very courageous step for you.
My first television interview, yes.
Right, there you go. Although you're always in front of a bunch of people, so it probably is not as hard as it could be for other people. And maybe we could just keep in touch with you and find out, later on what's going on.
Keep you updated on...
keep us updated on what's going on with the church.
In the future of World Youth Day,
Right.
2002.
2002. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I santi che han creduto, gli uomini che ad alta quota insegnano a volare, di chi la storia sa cambiare, come Gesù siamo qui, sotto la stessa luce, sotto la sua croce, cantando ad una voce, Emanuele, l'Emanuele.
È giunta un'era di primavera, è tempo di cambiare, è oggi il giorno sempre nuovo per ricominciare, per dare svolte, parole nuove e convertire il cuore, per dire al mondo, ad ogni uomo, Signore Gesù, siamo qui, sotto la stessa luce, sotto la sua croce, cantando ad una voce, Emanuele, l'Emanuele, l'Emanuele, Emanuele, l'Emanuele.
Sotto la stessa croce, cantando ad una voce,
Emanuele,
Dio con noi,
l'Emanuele, l'Emanuele, l'Emanuele.
sotto la stessa croce, cantando ad una voce, sotto la sua croce, city which has poured out its lifeblood out of love and cast its only the ancient world will send us on our way. By following Christ, together with Peter, our faith is born again. The living word that makes us new and grows in our hearts. Ce don si grand que Dieu nous a fait, le Christ son Fils unique, l'humanité renouvelée, lui est sauvé. Il est vrai homme, il est vrai Dieu, il est le pain de la vie. Pour chaque homme, pour tous ses frères, se donne encore.